Hey, one day, Coach Franco painting wallpaper here, shop in Huntley. Anthony's working on some cabinets in the background, but we're doing some testing because we tried to install this the other day and had some issues with it. So we're going back with some new paper. So this is one of the samples that we have. So you pay attention when you're bidding it. The website says this was trimmed, and we got paper that was untrimmed. We had one roll that was defective already. It had a Sharpie right in the middle of it, so they had to go back. The instructions on there were vague at best. This is a clay-based or clay-coated, I think they called. Let's see what it says on here. Clay-coated, non-woven, washable, Class A. The other one was the repeat, or the roll size, 36 feet it says on here, and the rolls we got were only 30 feet. So that was an issue too. We were looking to find out on the paste itself. Everything was prepped for us. So they put Roman RX 35 on the wall, which I'm not 100% thrilled about, but that's what we have. It says use a clear paste. So we are using Dynamite 234. So we did a first install, and it said book 2 to 3 minutes, which we did, and we booked it for 2 to 3 minutes. We still had a lot of bubbles with it. And then the trimming, there was just a lot of issues. And so, come to find out we didn't have enough, so we just stopped, we pulled what we had, threw it away, we had new stuff coming. So now we're doing a test with a different, just different methods. So I'm kind of using the same, since this is a clay coated, kind of like Bradbury. So I'm doing the same thing we did with Bradbury on a job not too long ago that worked really well. I'm sure it's not up to their instructions, but it worked, and it was almost a perfect install. So after you trim, some people tell you to trim all these beforehand and then let it relax and then trim it wet. We didn't do that. And so I just doing a test one. So what I did first thing was I unrolled this backwards. Like it has a pretty good memory on it, so I back rolled it. And so that way, once you go to put it on a table, it lays flat and it's not rolling up on you. So I let that sit, and I took a sponge. I mean, we use sea sponges, but I'm at the shop and I have one. Took a sponge, got it wet, and I'll put this piece on here so you can kind of see the difference. So that was mark number 1. That was mark number 2. And I got the front wet, and then I flipped it over. I got the back wet also. And so, put it on there. We'll put my drink on. So we got both sides wet before we put paste on there. When I first got this on there, that's the measurement. When you get it wet, it expanded 3/8 of an inch. That's how much width this thing goes. So be careful when you know that, how much you're gonna get it kind of expansion wise. And I'll get this one wet real quick while I show the wall, and we'll show you the growth that it has on here. It's pretty amazing. And I'm just getting this wet with a sponge, nothing fancy on here. Get the other side wet too. Alright, now we're just gonna let it sit. So, line that mark. We'll let it sit for a little while, and it already has taken over that side. You can kind of see it's rolling, so it is expanding already. So once it got wet, it kind of started drying out. So once we got a dull sheen on there like that, Dynamite 234 adhesive, put the adhesive on the paper, booked it. The instructions say 2 to 3 minutes. Again, I kind of took after Bradbury. I booked it for 10 minutes, put it in a bag, let it sit. And then again, we're just doing a test. So this is not a finished wall whatsoever. It's a really rough wall. But once we put it on there, you can still see all the nibs and everything from this paint, because that's what's underneath it. But even though that's underneath it, it still turned out pretty flat compared to what it did last time. Last time, only the 2 to 3 minutes, it just really completely just ripples everywhere where it was still expanding. So you definitely have to give this stuff enough time to expand, give it the moisture it needs. It says not to use clay. I don't know. If I had to do this again, I'd probably use maybe a 50-50 mix of clay and clear on there so a little bit more control, not as much moisture to the wall. But that's what I would do. And then you can already, there's our mark on that side. It already moved, so there's our mark there. And then our mark here is there. So you can kind of see again, that's how much that stuff expanded. Mark, so you can see there. On that side, and on that side. So, yeah, that's about a quarter. After another minute, not even a minute, it'll get again. So just make sure you give yourself enough time, get it wet, give yourself plenty of time to book, and the booking is gonna allow for all of these different types of inks to expand differently. This ink is gonna expand different than this ink. This ink is gonna expand different than the pink, and the pink is gonna expand different than the orange. So just make sure you give that extra time you need to make sure all the stuff is expanding, getting bigger, all at the same time. That's our experience with it so far. If you have questions on wallpaper installation, give us a call to Franco Painting and Wallpaper. We're here to help you out in the space you're in with painting, wallpaper, and cabinet refinishing. You guys have a great day. God bless.